So let me show you the SMT lines. There's 6 of them, and then the reflow ovens are shared. This is one of them. Okay, solder paste, so that's where the equipment spreads the solder paste through the stencil on the PCBA boards, and then the PCBA boards come here. This is the pick and place machine, right? So it picks the components from these reels and then places them at exactly the right spot on the PCB boards. That is the PCB assembly, PCBA. And then it goes on the conveyor and onto that reflow oven. There's 2 reflow ovens. Okay. What I'm showing right now, everything goes for this one reflow oven. These reflow ovens have, I believe, 10 different areas, so that the boards go through a very specific temperature profile and it doesn't jump too much. So it's gradually up and then gradually down. That's why it's such a long oven. Okay, this is line number 2. Again, same thing, solder paste printing. And then you can see this one is active right now, the pick and place machine. So it keeps going from the reels. So these are the dispensers of the reels, and then it keep going back to the board. So it picks a few components on the reels, puts a few components on the boards with suction, right? And again, goes out, and there's some visual checks and also some optical, automated optical inspection checks, which we will look at right after. Okay, so this is number 3. This one is between 2 production racks. So again, one solder paste, one pick and place. Number 4. So for the high volume production, this is very common. They will load the boards like a magazine with automatic loader. Then the boards go straight into the solder paste machine and then straight into the pick and place robot, right? And then straight out. This one has 2 pick and place machines, which is not uncommon at all. Generally starting with the reels with the smaller components, and then the reels with the bigger components. Okay. And then out again, then it can automatically load the boards onto the magazine like this. Right? And then in some cases there's some visual check, and sometimes a little bit more than that. In this case, he is placing some tiny components that for some reason they find it better, or maybe it's the only feasible way, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to interrupt him. Okay. But in most cases, all the components are placed by the pick and place robot. Again, the magazine for automatically loading the boards. So these ones are flexible PCBA. Okay, so that's why they are mounted, they're kind of stuck, attached on a metal plate. Okay, so this way they have a strong support, rigid support, and the components can be mounted on them more easily. Here again, two pick and place robots, and same thing. All of them, they end over there on the conveyor that goes straight through the oven. Okay. And this is the final one, which so again, one solder paste printer and 2 pick and place machines, which is quite common for high value production. and again the whole thing so that it loads automatically and so on and so forth. And you can see all of that goes straight to that reflow oven. Okay, so we've seen the SMT sort of line. Okay, so this is high volume production of small PCBA boards with a USB-C port. They're making millions of these. This is plugged directly into the mobile phone industry. So that's why we're talking about millions and millions, right? And they have a number of these specialized equipment that is really optimized for these whole things. They place it directly on the board. There's a little bit of manual work, but it's mostly automated. And then it goes into this conveyor and it ends up in its own reflow oven. And we have a number of these specialized machines all gathered around the conveyor belt. They are then bring the board to the reflow oven. Here's the inspection area. So there's some manual inspection stations. They have 4 AOI stations, so automated optical inspection machines. The board goes through them and they are taking in photo very fast and from different angles. So this will catch a lot of the effects, a lot of the placement issues, solder paste placement issues also, the components maybe not properly mounted, etc., etc. A lot of defects can be picked that way. The inspection is very fast. Just loads it, photo, pam, 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 and it flags automatically. And if the operator has any question, they look at the screen and they can look at the board obviously also, right? This is so much faster and better than pure visual inspection. And not all defects can be found this way. Not all defects are visible on the outside, right? So for certain types of PCBA boards, it's also important to put some of them in the X-ray machine. Okay, same concept as the way security at the airport sees through your bag, right? It's important to look even inside the soldering, inside the board itself. This is extremely useful for root cause analysis also. When there are failures, okay, what happens? Why is it a failure? Let's put it there and let's really look at the details of it, at the internals of it, basically. So this is a must-have complement to the AOI machines.